Alistair from the Darwin Free Spirit Resort gave us another tip, and we found ourselves on a fast-moving boat heading out to sea. Just another adventure up here in Darwin that Alistair from Darwin Free Spirit Resort put us onto. We're on a boat, we're heading out to a place called Bare Sand Island. Now apparently the turtles come up here and lay their eggs. Never seen it before, hopefully see it tonight. As they say, hang on to your hat. Thanks, Alistair.
Cheers, buddy.
After 90 minutes, we arrived on the island.
We got there to this fantastic island. They had some little baby turtles already that had hatched a few days earlier, so we got to touch them and hold them, which was just amazing.
So these guys, they didn't have enough energy to get out with all their brothers and sisters. They were still in the nest when they dug it up, so they're a little bit tired, aren't they?
We got to handle it, and I think that was the start of becoming embedded in the experience.
We were lucky I had my Optus Sat sleeve and lucky to catch up with the person leading the team of volunteers and biologists, and he shared some information on the program.
We're actually monitoring the flatback and olive ridley sea turtle populations. So we're tagging the turtles, recording the numbers that are nesting each night and seeing how it changes from year to year. Some of the turtles that we tagged 40 years ago are still nesting, so we found out that the turtles are very long-lived. And here on the island, we've got turtles that we tagged 20 years ago, and they nested last week, so 3 of them altogether.
Our guides led us up the beach, and as the sun set over Bare Sand Island, we witnessed one of the most unique events I have ever seen.
She's walked up the beach here. She's currently in the dunes and she's digging a body pit, and then she'll dig her egg chamber.
Well, we've just seen the turtle tracks. The turtles come up the beach, and now apparently she's about to be laying eggs on top of the hill in the shrubbery.
Whilst the turtles went to the task of digging their nests, the Turtle Tracks team gathered their data.
So I'm just going to have a look if she's been tagged yet. Starting with the left, she's got one there, and that's K46061.
When this turtle dug deep enough, she began laying her eggs to our amazement.
It's cool to see how many eggs that she's laying, except I lost count.
To be there witnessing it was just incredible. And then we actually got to hold a freshly laid turtle egg just for a couple of minutes.
Freshly laid, flat-back turtle egg. Is that back into the brothers and sisters?
I think so. That's great.
Now, one of the magical things about doing What's Up Down Under over the last several years is you get to do things like this. It's just magic, magic.
A short drive out of Darwin finds you at the Adelaide River. Now, there's a spot here you can do a river cruise, and Tanya and I thought that'd be a top idea. But Harry, our skipper today, tells us that some of the logs we see floating in the river may start dancing. Sounds a bit obscure to me.
I think we should swap seats.
I think we just find how we are. Ladies first, I'd like to see you have a good view. As soon as we hit the water, we had company. There are literally thousands of saltwater crocs in the Adelaide River, and Adelaide River cruises get you up close to observe, and I mean up close.
I never expected that we'd get up so close to them, and their heads are like a foot away from you. It's crazy.
Captain Harry and his team doesn't just get you up close to the crocs, he also passes on a bit of knowledge and dispels a few myths.
The word salty implies they live in salt water, and just to stand to correct you on that one there, they actually excrete salt out of their body, which that's where their name comes from. A lot of people can make that mistake, and it's cost dearly lives by just presuming that saltwater crocs have to live in salt water, and they don't, of course.
We were definitely in good hands here and loving the NT. He just rolls this boat straight up onto the bank, nudges it up, and then beckons a crocodile up with a lump of meat and gets him up onto the bank. If you do the NT, you have to do this. To book your tour, just Google Adelaide River Cruises. Whoa! Oh, yeah.
White fellas reckon that my people been here for 40,000 years, but I reckon We've been here long time. Creation started in a dream time. Our journey will go forever.
And today, our journey continues through the red centre of the Northern Territory. Last episode, you saw us leave the Kakadu region in our New Age caravans and begin our final leg to Darwin. For the entire journey, we've had our executive producer and his family towing and living in the New Age glider. And Tanya made the New Age Oz Classic her home and towed it all the way from Alice Springs to our final destination, the Darwin Free Spirit Resort. G'day and welcome to the show. Here we are at our digs in Darwin, the Darwin Free Spirit Resort.
And our journey from Alice Springs to Darwin has all been made possible thanks to our great mates at New Age Caravans and Tourism NT.
We're going to set up camp here for a few days, have a good look around Darwin and show you what it's got to offer. And actually on that subject, this is Alistair. He's our host while we're here. Mate, what's nearby that's good to look at?
Mackie, you're in luck. Just down the road, the Darwin Aviation Museum. All things aviation in Darwin. Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Well, why don't you guys go to the Aviation Museum while I go and check out the park?
That sounds like a plan. What do you reckon, guys?
Yeah!
Woo-hoo! You can't miss it on your way into Darwin. There's this big hangar that looms up in front of you. It's the Australian Aviation Heritage Centre. I've come in here, caught up with Tony, who's the boss.
Okay.
Mate, how cool is this?
It's pretty good. This is our nice workshop. There's a mix of military, there's a mix of civilian history, there's a lot of World War II history here.
It's the volunteers that make this such an amazing place, and they've gone to great lengths to bring the exhibit to life. And there's a helicopter in there that crashed, and they put it back together so we can look at it.
A lot of these planes have seen service. We've got XRAAF aircraft, the Sabre and the Mirage behind you. Both of those saw active service in the war. We've got the F-111 sitting behind us. This is a pretty special plane. It actually saw service in Vietnam, and one of the last missions flown out of Vietnam was flown by this aircraft when it was part of the United States Air Force before we acquired it.
There's an old bomber in there from World War II that someone sort of looked at after the war and said, what can I use that for? So what we've got here is a state-of-the-art caravan post-World War II. Nothing got wasted back in those days. They've got half an aeroplane after the war, turned it into a caravan, and then the family went on holidays. Mate, if people want to find out more information, go to the website.
Absolutely, darwinsairwar.com.au. All the information's there, including an interactive tour of the museum, so well worth a visit.
Darwin is home to the Hidden Valley Motorsport Complex, where we discovered the true colour of one of our convoy members. All the big kids are out playing today at Hidden Valley Go-Kart track. We've got Australian champions, we've got international champions, we've got every professional you could poke a stick at. And this one coming down behind me right now, not real sure, someone by the name of Tanya Kernigan, out on the kart track with the pros, and she's away. We let Tanya have her fun and then made it over to the big show, Nitro up north. Several classes of vehicles flying down the drag strip, from motorbikes to the big boys competing for points. We got down into the pits area, and I guess that's where you see the heart of the passion of these people.
We have a fuel pump lever that controls the mechanical fuel pump to regulate the pressure.
They're all mechanics, they work on the car, and they're this team because they want to work together to make this car go faster. The noise is unbelievable, the smoke's unbelievable. The excitement, the whole crowd's just alive with it. It's yeah, it's like a split second of high energy and followed by the wait for the next race.